Hi kids, I'm Tim Hodge, the director of Lyle the Kindly Viking, and today we're going to draw Junior Asparagus playing the part of Lyle the Kindly Viking. So grab your favorite pencil and a piece of paper and let's draw. First of all, I want to make sure you draw loose and light because we're not going to use all the lines we start with at first. So let's start about right in the middle of the paper. You're going to use up most of your paper here, so don't start too near the top or too near the bottom. Yeah, this is a nice kind of curved line. This is going to be the side of Lyle's body. This is the other side. Making him stand just a little bit of a curve here. See this nice curved line of his body? Makes him feel like he's got a nice little attitude to him. Kind of a happy-go-lucky. We don't want him just perfectly straight. A little curve there. And if you notice, the bottom of his body here is a curved line. I didn't draw a straight line across. See, Junior is actually a circle. If we have this little toy of Junior, if you look at him right from underneath, he's a perfect circle. But if you turn it sideways, see how it turns to an oval? So if he's facing down a little bit, that line is curved. It's not a perfectly straight line. Make sure it's a little bit curved. All right, now up here near the top, his eyes are like two big egg shapes. So there's one. It looks like it's right in the middle of his body, but it's not. His body's turned slightly. It's like a big backward C. And this one is like a big frontward C. You see that? How they fit together? Don't close them up all the way. They look better if you don't put that line in there. And right in the middle, a little circle will be his nose. Now we have to see which way Junior's looking. So we have to put his pupils in here. Almost right in the middle, a nice oval shape. And a little bit to the right of center in this one, another oval shape. It's a little bit small. It's going to make it a little bit bigger. There. Now, I'm going to put a little highlight in his eye. Make it look like the sun shining on him there and giving a nice little reflection to his eye. Make him look like a happy little Junior. Now Junior is always smiling, most of the time anyway, so let's put his little mouth in here. Now his mouth is off to the side. He's got a little side grin. Let's start with a little curve like that. Now it's not going to be a closed mouth smile. We're going to make it open. So a little curve here and like a big U shape coming down off of that. See that? And a little line right there for his teeth. Okay, now Junior's hair is a big clump that's on top of an asparagus. And it comes out on this side and this side. Now we're not going to draw all of it because he's got a hat, remember? The Junior's wearing a Viking helmet in this, and it's got a band of fur on the bottom. So let's, first of all, again, draw not a straight line across the top, a nice little curved line here where it fits against his head. And then beyond that, draw a big curved line. It gets real close to this first line in the middle, and then further away at the sides. See that? Okay. And draw the two sides here. Comes up. Now very lightly draw the top part of this band, but very lightly because that line's not going to stay straight. That's kind of just a guideline right now. Because this band across his helmet's made like from sheep fleece. Nice, fuzzy, warm. And let's make it look fluffy here. Let's put some, not quite points, but kind of rounded points where the big fluffy spots. Okay, one, two, big one here in the middle. A couple more off to the side. Just make it look nice and fluffy and warm and cozy because he's a nice, warm, kindly Viking, isn't he? All right. Now the top of the helmet comes to a point. Again, these curved lines that go up. And don't quite meet in the middle because it's got this little round part right up here. There's this little metal rivet that holds it all together. There. And from that rivet, there are these four metal bands that come down. We can only see two of them from the front. The other two are in the back. There's this one. It's a skinny little thing this way. Another one that comes down to the side. Yeah, just like that. See, it's a little narrower near the top than it is at the bottom. Narrow, then wide. And right in the middle, these other little rivets. Again, don't close off these circles. It looks better if you leave them a little open, like a little letter C and a little letter U over here. And since this other part's made out of leather, let's just shade that in a little bit. I'll put a little shadow under here too. Yeah. Make that fluffy. And for his hairdo, you can just put some circle-ish shapes here. So you don't see all of it, that is. Okay, and I'm going to work on his eyes a little bit, give him a little bit of an eyebrow here, or eyelashes. Just make it darker on the top. Yeah, and you see, make light lines first, and then go back and darken the ones that we like and think are important. Now, Junior's clothes that he wears, he has this little Viking suit. So let's put that around him. Again, usually his clothes are just like this little band that wrap around his middle here. But we're not going to make it straight. We want to make it feel like it's really there in space, so we're making just a little bit of a curve. So do a nice, slightly curved line right under his mouth and almost near the bottom. It'll be the top of his shirt and the bottom here. But do it light, because we're going to put some other lines in here too. Now right in the middle, he's got this little metal medallion, like a big button. I say it's right in the middle, but look, I've drawn it over to the side because he's turned a little bit. And when he turns, all the stuff that's in the middle pushes over to the side. So it's almost a perfect circle. It's kind of an old medallion button. You can put kind of a squared off shape inside of it. And he's got a little collar that comes around. So follow this line and off to the side. See, come out to a little wider. It's another little fleece collar here. He lives in Norway where it's very cold. There. See, it's a little curve here, bigger curve here. And you make it look like it wraps around him. This line comes outside and back around and stops at the side of his head here. Same on this side, only backwards. Nice deep curve on that side, a little shallow curve on the top. There. Now on the bottom, right here, right underneath this medallion, make this upside down triangle, this little upside down V shape for where his shirt buttons together. All the sides here. Now make sure the sides of his clothes come out a little wider than the side of his body. That makes his shirt look like it has a little thickness to it, and it's wrapped around it and not just painted on. Same on this side. Make sure his shirt's just a little wider. Now in the middle here, he kind of ties his shirt together, so let's put these two little like kind of shoelace lines. Kind of a rectangle that's at a slant, a little bit curved again, not straight lines. And another one that's angled the other way. And this is made out of the same leather that his helmet is, so let's color that in just very lightly. Use the side of your pencil. Just kind of lightly shade that in. Then, let's put a little shadow out to the side of him here. Make it look like he's sitting on the ground here. Go back around and darken the important lines. And before we forget, what does Lyle the Viking carry with him all the time? His little bag of pot holders. So let's draw his paper bag. Now his paper bag is mostly straight lines, but don't worry if they're not perfectly straight. Let's start out like right down the middle of his head here. This line is slightly angled down, don't go too far. And we're going to make this slanted rectangle. This is the opening, the very top of the paper bag. Come down here, back the other way. This is one side of the bag. That's the inside. These lines that are parallel, it means they go the same direction. Right here, let's break it just a little bit. See how it angles off? Make it feel like it's more like a folded paper bag that way. And in here, put these light lines to make it look like it's a grocery shopping bag. That's where the folds are. And inside, let's put some those little curvy lines and make it look like it's full of pot holders. That one's plaid. Maybe stick that line in there too. Shade that a little bit. So there you go.